president because they said, I hadn't been here in 4 years. I wasn't invited the entire time that Joe Biden was in office. And so they were really excited to be in there, to be back into the Oval Office, really, frankly, to be back into power. I think, the president has been really adamant about having these members of Congress come over to the White House. It's one of the biggest tools that the president can use, kind of not just the power of the pulpit there, but really, bringing lawmakers on Air Force One, bringing them into the Oval, allowing them into the grandness of the White House, so that in turn they can give you kind of this legislative freedom to do what you will and to make your agenda become a reality. And so I think that is what Donald Trump is using. But we know tomorrow the House Freedom Caucus, Chip Roy, we saw him a few moments ago. They will be going to the White House as Trump tries to pull them along. Lindsey Graham, who we see on the screen right now, he was at the White House on Friday. He came out to the sticks to talk to reporters after the Zelensky blow up, and kind of started at least publicly rolling the tires on whether or not there should be a regime change in Ukraine. Obviously, that language has kind of softened in the last really 3 hours. I believe that's Lisa Murkowski coming up on the screen.
Is that, it looks like, is that Senator Smith in front of her?
Yes,
Tina
Smith and Catherine Cortez Masto, and he was with Ben Ray Lujan from New Mexico.
Lisa Murkowski was, yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Lisa Murkowski has been somebody who, moves to her own.
Should we go with his word, iconoclastic?
Yes.
There's Kash Patel, FBI Director Kash Patel down there he's in the gallery, it looks like. He's up in the gallery.
There's Ivanka. That was Ivanka, I believe.
Was that Ivanka?
Yeah, I think that was
okay.
Ivanka.
All right.
There's Usha.
And there's Mrs. Vance. Yep. And you can see the Vice President and the Speaker waiting for everything to happen. Just looking at the schedule that we were given ahead of time, it looks like they are running just a few minutes late, but all is well. And that's Tiffany. There's Tiffany.
What's going on, Bigo? So I'm just watching
the whole family.
President's address to
let's check in with
Congress right now. Before we get into some games, I don't typically cover this kind of content as far as this dude, but I feel like I need to because I got a podcast episode coming out tomorrow talking about this and other stuff. So it's like I might as well cover it. And if people tune in, y'all tune in. If y'all don't, y'all just don't. I get it. I get it.
It is the VA Secretary Doug Collins, who will not.
Because I already see my comments. Like, if y'all go back and check out some of my other videos that I got posted.
That line up on the center aisle,
talking about,
Bloomberg, noting
where all the black people that supported this clown. And I'm going to tell you right now, I am not a 47 supporter or a 45 supporter when he was 45. I am not a supporter of his. So if y'all coming in my chat thinking that, I'm going to let you know right now, I am not a supporter of his or his racist values or anybody that supports him. You got too many people out there that, support this fascism stuff and the fact that this man is in love with a dictator and then disrespecting a doggone one of our allies in the White House. So it's like, I can't even get with this dude.
Before the speech, in hopes that they get to shake the president's hand when he.
So we're just gonna watch this, and I'm gonna try my best not to pause when this dude is lying. I'm going to try my hardest to not to pause it. But yeah, that's it. I'm gonna be playing. So what's gonna happen is once he's done,
in 1966,
I'm going to end the stream and restart the stream so I can have two different videos out there for just this, and then I'm gonna have one for playing a game. I'm gonna play a game for a little bit. Not for a minute. So we've been playing Slender Threads. I don't know if y'all seen that.
President of the United States into the chamber. The following: the gentleman from Louisiana, Mr. Scalise. The gentleman.
So I don't know how long this video gonna last before they kick it out. But I am streaming from C-SPAN.
North Carolina, Mr. Hudson. The gentleman from Pennsylvania, Mr. Reschenthaler. The gentleman from Utah, Mr. Moore. The gentlewoman from Indiana, Mrs. Houchin.
Because it's like I can't even believe some of the stuff this dude is doing. Well, no, I can't. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm tripping. I can. Because I was talking about this and other stuff other content that I've made with this man and some of the stuff that he does. So I can believe it. I can believe it. I can't believe other people don't believe that he's doing this and or saying that he's doing stuff to benefit his country. Which I'm like, I can't even see that at all. And where you would even get that logic from.
Appoints the following senators as members of the committee on the part of the Senate to escort the President of the United States into the House chamber. The senator from South Dakota, Mr. Thune. The senator from Wyoming, Mr. Barrasso. The senator from Arkansas, Mr. Cotton. The senator from Oklahoma, Mr. Lankford. The senator from West Virginia, Mrs. Capito. The senator from South Carolina, Mr. Scott. The senator from New York, Mr. Schumer. The senator from Illinois, Mr. Durbin. The senator from
It's like they played Tim Scott so hard.
The senator from New Jersey, Mr. Booker. The senator from Wisconsin, Ms. Baldwin.
The members of the escort committee will exit the chamber through the lobby doors.
And you got this fool down here who wants to run for governor of Florida. I'm like, that ain't even gonna happen. I'm like, they ain't even giving you a leg up on that. And he about to find out real quick who he is. Because I'm like, you can sit here and play sides and say that this country is not built on the backs of racism and stuff. But I'm like, you're going to find out real quick. And he's going to downplay it like he's been doing.
Speaker, the Dean of the Diplomatic Corps.
I will say all that stress they've been putting JD on the lock, he didn't slim down a little bit. Because nobody got no respect for him. They don't even look at him. They look at Elon more so than they do him. And it's like in my group, they're trying to get to boycott
And we're about 5-10 minutes.
the state of address. I'm just like, man, I don't know about boycotting it. At the end of the day, you got to know what your enemy doing. As crazy as he gonna be, you got to still know what this fool is doing.
Amongst ourselves, is there anything that we can share that we were talking about?
I think one thing that I'm noticing is a difference between the way that former Vice President Harris and Speaker Mike Johnson were talking last year versus now. I mean, it's so much more jovial with Vice President Vance and Speaker Johnson than it was. It's so much more kind of homeboy. These people know each other and they're kind of on the same side.
Yeah, because they're rats.
Interesting to watch.
Rats stick
the
together.
differences, you know, just a year.
Would you call Harris and Johnson formal?
Chief Justice and Associate Justices of the United States Supreme Court.
That's great.
And I know they're not going to allow this. No, topic is not gaming. It's the news and events. Take a moment to update. Please wait. Then you got the snakes from the Supreme Court showing up. And this is not even being promoted. And so this is why I have issue with TikTok. I appreciate the love on Big O.
Nick, we were just watching the Supreme Court come in. We saw Justice Roberts, Kavanaugh, Barrett, Kagan, and we did not see Justices Brown, Jackson, Sotomayor, Alito, Gorsuch, Thomas.
We
And we did see Anthony Kennedy, too.
Retired Justice Anthony Kennedy.
Does that tell you anything, that just 4 out of the 5? 4 out of the 9 are.
So, I mean, Justice Alito has been skipping this for quite a few years after, like sort of some of his motions and kind of mouthings.
How can I change the image
the
of
cameras during one of Barack Obama's addresses? Thomas has also skipped quite a few lately. And it's not surprising to me because I do think that some people are feeling like that they don't have to be there.
I swear to God, this dude
They've
wear
done this
eyeliner.
before. A lot of them have done this.
I know people
before.
say he got a condition, but I swear to God, he
people
wears
who have,
eyeliner.
you know,
Not anything's wrong with that.
But not necessarily, you don't see.
I
this
just think he wears some
necessarily
eyeliner.
protest by 2 of the Democratic appointed justices, Brown Jackson and Sotomayor.
It could.
And you can
it
see
could- it
Justice
could be,
Roberts and
yeah.
Kagan.
Yeah, I mean,
smiling.
the Supreme Court is a very tight group. They're very close. They spend a lot of time around one another. Whether or not it's a protest or whether it's just I think I want to just catch up on Black Doves on Netflix.
And then for him to roll back funding
I had
for
a reservation
Ukraine.
I couldn't
And I'm just
miss.
sitting here like,
At the local
to me, he doesn't appreciate the stuff that he was saying. And I'm saying, like, you ain't got no problem with Netanyahu saying the stuff that he does and demanding that the U.S. gives him funding to wage his war on Palestinian people.
Would you consider the
But you want to get smoked with Zelensky because he was saying that the only reason that which is true, safe, is because of our oceans and stuff.
Know each other that didn't really talk. It was these moments in which they kind of interfaced a lot more after Johnson became speaker, and obviously the vice president was on her 4th year of being the vice president. I believe that Johnson was asked later on in an interview what they talked about, and he said, we made niceties. We didn't talk about.
I know this is
politics.
not.
We
See,
talked about,
I knew that
things
wasn't
that
gonna
two
happen.
people, 2 humans talk about. I am not sure that is the case right now with J.D. Vance and Johnson. I think that they're talking pretty frequently. J.D. Vance was at the Capitol earlier today for a confirmation hearing for one of the people nominated to join the FBI. one of his longtime friends. And so I think that they're continuously
How do I
having
go to my
conversations
live
in a
page?
way that Johnson wasn't having with the previous administration.
We have about a minute and a half before William McFarland, the House Sergeant at Arms, is scheduled to announce, Mr. Speaker, the President of the United States, etc. What are you listening for in tonight's speech, Jason Dick?
Mainly about the border. I mean, I think that there is going to be a lot of discussion about immigration and the border. Trump has always felt that this is the winning issue for him. I think that it's going to be a big part of things.
Jasmine Wright?
The economy. I mean, this tariffs move that happened, overnight into today. Obviously, there's some thinking that maybe they would, pull back the tariffs or bring it down to a lower percentage. But people are concerned about the economy. They're giving Trump some more time, but people are concerned. And so I want to hear how he not just blames the Biden administration, but how he talks about it moving forward.
Well, later tonight, Howard Lutnick, the new Commerce Secretary,
Yeah.
made a statement.
Yeah,
What-
he said
Did it
that-
close
What should
it?
we be listening for?
Well, he said that they
No.
had been on the phone with both their Mexican and Canadian counterparts trying to make a deal, and that President Trump may announce, if not here, maybe tomorrow, that they are pulling back some of the tariffs, not completely letting them go, but certainly pulling them back as long as these countries say and then become more forceful on issues like fentanyl, on issues that the reason why that these tariffs are put in place. But I think it's just the reality.
There is no reason why the
that
tariffs were put into
Trump
place.
saw the stock markets.
I mean, 'cause we
Somebody
get
who
so much
follows
stuff
the
from
stock
doggone
markets, follows them
Canada.
quite religiously.
And
They were
he's sitting there
going back
acting
and
like
forth,
him
back
putting
and
tariffs
forth.
on there. Once
Freaking
the
out.
Canadians do what they're going to do, it's going to hurt us even
about
more.
these tariffs. And so I
But
don't think
his
that the White
supporters
House
don't
will be
believe
able to
that.
say quite credibly that that wasn't the reason, or that wasn't a reason as to.
Because I'm
why
like, the cost of
they're saying
gasoline, we get, what is it, 87% of our
but
fuel?
certainly, only time will tell what percentage that is,
From,
how much that is, and whether or not they still do
Canada?
reciprocal tariffs on April 2nd, as they
Then
said.
Nydia Velazquez of
Let me look
Democrat
at it
of
before
New
I
York,
even-
talking with Nancy
Don't quote me
Pelosi
on
there,
that.
Both long-term members. I apologize for not recognizing your face. There are 62 new members of Congress. Nearly 20% of the Congress is new, and so that's a lot of new.
We get
members that are
71% of our fuel
not
from
quite
Canada.
sure who that one was. I think we better.
So it's like you talking about them imposing tariffs on us and our fuel and stuff, cost of gasoline. I drive electric, so I ain't worried about none of that stuff. But all y'all that drive cars is like, your car gasoline about to go up.
She came down. Here comes Mrs. Trump. She's sitting with her guests. Greta gave us her guests earlier. They include some revenge porn victims.
I can't even let that chick slide. I mean, I know she tired of this dude, but it's like, I can't let her slide.
Butler, Pennsylvania. So she's sitting with her guests there.
Lincoln Riley family is
That's
there.
right.
I do like this suit, though.
To answer your question,
I can't even front on her. I do like her suit.
I think those were her first
I appreciate the love, Frank.
public remarks since Donald Trump took office. There were some questions about how much she would be in Washington, how frequently she'd be
Bro, she don't care nothing
around.
about no politics.
But I
She don't
think
even wanna
there's
be
a real
there.
shift in energy, not just from the president, but also from her office, trying to do things.
The minute everything gets started, she about to sit down, start watching some doggone anime in her head and playing some doggone Mario to check out. Oh, I can't stand Marco Rubio. Somebody sell out to his own people too. And I can't get mad at him either though for sneaking money over to munitions and stuff over to the country overseas behind Congress back, because Biden was doing the same thing too.
As well, Attorney General Pam Bondi, Pete Hegseth was there.
Then you got the idiot over the housing committee.
RFK Jr. HHS. There's Scott Turner.
Now you got RFK Jr. too. Like this, you got a massive measles outbreak in Texas. Well, these kids down there dying, and now he wants to say that it's an issue that we need to address.
Senator Adam Schiff, sitting with a senator from. Yep.
And then you got this fool too.
Lisa Blunt, Rochester.
He wants to shut down the cybersecurity team that's staging a war, but doing protection or staging attacks against Russian threats.
Mosley Braun. We have Angela also Brooks, Maryland.
Like his whole cabinet is full of clowns.
And then Lisa Blunt, Rochester.
Yes.
Yeah.
Interchangeably through too.
And there's Christy Nome, who's she is talking there with the.
You got doing freaking Lauren Boebert over there. I can't stand that chick either.
No, that's Tim Burchett from Tennessee.
There we go. Is that Brooke Rollins, the Ag Secretary? Yeah.
It is sort of odd to have something like this with, I mean, and there's so much, we're paying attention to the fashion because of like some of the protests and so forth, having just done the Oscars 2 nights ago. It's not quite
What fashion? Half of them don't have no fashion sense.
Not quite the same.
But there is a lot more power.
I would simply say, Jason, Dick, that nobody in the world cares what you or I are wearing. Last year, Joe Biden took at least a half hour to get out of the chamber. It was a moment for him politically that boosted him.
Yeah.
That got rid of some of the rumors of mental decline, etc. And he worked that room for a half an hour. It was one of the most, in a sense, iconic things I've ever seen in politics.
Yeah.
No, he still suffered mental decline.
President Trump to do the same, or I don't know.
I don't know if
He likes to chat.
He shouldn't even have sought our re-election.
There as long,
Which I think was part of the reason
in that span, Joe Biden
that we had.
like 2
I mean, it is part of the reason we had
that
people
went
not
viral,
show up. Even, and
he
I
was
fault
there
them too for
forever.
this
I don't know
fool
if he
winning.
expects President Trump to be for that long, but the reality is that as I've talked to people close to him, he is enjoying this moment. He's happy to be back in the White House. He's happy to have a party that responds to him, that respects him.
They don't respect him. They worship him because they're afraid of retaliation.
And so I think you're going to see him show that happiness, shaking hands with his friends, shaking hands potentially with people who don't like him very much, Democrats, kind of pushing them to say something potentially. He's kind of reveling in this moment that he has now that he's back in the White House. And so I think he is going to be there a long time. Whether or not he's there as long as Joe Biden, I think only time will tell, because Joe Biden, I remember being there, covering it last year and being like, dang, can you leave? I'm trying to go home. So.
It did have an end of the night at your high school.
Oh, you gotta love that media lab.
We'll see what Donald Trump does.
Yeah, I would guess too that like some of that is there's a little bit of wistfulness, like the
Trump can't coherently even
who knows
stay
what kind
on
of doubts he may
topic
have
when
had
it comes
about
to
his own,
anything.
His own path. That this is like a beginning as opposed to sort of an end. Even if it's
Appreciate it, Camara, for becoming a fan.
For a while.
Yeah, you can see.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I've been gone for 3 weeks now. So I was on vacation 3 weeks ago. I was in St. Martin.
Nearby.
I think I streamed one time that week, but I was in St. Martin for the rest of that week. After that, I caught COVID while I was in St. Martin. I was put down all last week. Like, I didn't want to do nothing. Like, even I work remotely. And it's like the whole week. I had the chills, body aches. And then this week, it's like, no, it was last week. Week before last, I had COVID. Last week, I was dealing with this congestion that came from that. So it had me tore for like a good 2 weeks. Like, I was having shortness of breath. I thought I was about to check out and go to the other side and transition over, because I was laid down one night and I jumped up, and it's like my wife was like, what's going on? And it was like I literally stopped breathing for like a second, and I had to jump up and catch my breath. And so she ended up getting me some Mucinex and stuff the next day, and it helped straighten me out. Like, I still got it a little bit. Like, I cough every now and then. But last week, the past 2 weeks, man, your boy was down. I was down bad. It's like I would go out for walks and stuff to like push myself. Even as old as I am, I still like to push myself to get my body conditioned to certain things. And even doing that was a struggle, because we good for walking. Like, we walk on average about 7.5 miles or 8 miles sometimes. And when I tell you the struggle of trying to walk that and then breathe in with all the hacking and coughing the whole time, so I did it. No punking me, I did it.
Let's check in one more time with Greg.
But yeah, so I say that to say, I stream every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. I try to be consistent with it. I am trying to be consistent again with it. But I stream every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday at 8:30. I started a little late tonight because I was trying to get everything put together, because I didn't know which way I wanted to go. I didn't know if I wanted to play a game first and then switch over to this, but I was just like, nah, I'm gonna just go ahead and throw it on while they do a little commentating on it. And then, as it starts up, once he finishes, it shouldn't, I hope it don't last an hour. After that, then I'm going to close the stream down, start the stream back up, and then we're going to play some games. We're going to chill out, play some games, get this BS out of my head before I check out for tonight. But I've been playing Slender Threads, I think that's what it's called.
Why he's putting in place these.
It's like one of those, not even turn-based games, like point-and-click games. That's been pretty good. Like, I like the story behind it. So I've already recorded one episode of it that I need to post.
It's something that,
but I'm recording the second episode tonight. So I guess it's just going to be thrown off.
Privately, they're concerned about them. They don't like that.
But I think this has to be watched.
Explain why.
Like, you gotta, as much as I hate watching and talking about this man, because I said it in one of my podcast episodes, I wasn't gonna do too much talking and making content on him. It's almost like I say that, but I need to be the petty in chief to throw this in people's face to let them know that this is what they asked for and this is what they got. So as people are complaining, and they're complaining, and as people are getting upset because they really are upset, I'm just like, you put yourself in this situation. Not all of us, like not. like people that voted the
Another
right
thing that
way.
I'm looking for, in addition to just some of the.
Because the group I've been
policy
with, man,
notes
it's like they've been
we're
staging
looking at,
protests and stuff too, and
is
it's like I'm
just
not doing no
what-
protests. Like real talk,
how
I'm
the
not doing no
Democrats
protests
are
this
going
time
to
around.
approach
Because
things
and it's
that
like
they
I know
feel
this
are a
is
winner for them.
one of the things to
Whether
be
it's
doing to be out there and be
whether it's
active.
something, if
Because I try to
Trump does
listen at the end of every one of my like
something about,
episodes,
how
my
great they are.
podcast episodes. So make sure
we're
y'all watch my
seeing
podcast.
them as
I try
judges.
to do a
Mark
call to
does not
action,
like them. The
and I do say get involved and get active. But for all of us out there that's been active, and for it to turn out the way that this is, I'm like, I'm not doing any protests. Like I'm not doing no
But he's also
protests.
going to go for some base issues, like transgender, issues. How is that going to be? How is that going to be presented? But how,
Here we go.
And I'm trying to understand, like, why are they stuck on trans stuff? Like, why? What is the issue?
Of the United States.
Ugh. The clown of the United States. Like, she looking at him in disgust, like, oh, I can't stand this man. Like, she's just like, ugh. I gotta go home with this dude tonight. Like, this is not normal. Then goddamn Marjorie Taylor Greene. This chick talking about federal workers don't deserve to get paid. Then send your ass home. Like, she need to go home. She don't do nothing for her district. And she out of the same state I'm in. She'll do nothing for her district. All these old bastards up in there. I'm like, get in focus. Like, Brett shouldn't even be in office. It's like they just put anybody through for the sake of that fool. Hey man, she got some expensive gear. Is that a Canon? She had a Canon and a Sony? Homeboy is like, man, get your hands off me. You do not respect the military. I don't know why he got them books up there, because he can't even read. I'm like, I better not see no Democrat clapping. Hang up behavior in your live room. Please adjust your content to avoid the upgrade. What? What are you talking about?
Thank you.
Oh, hang up behavior. I'm not even doing nothing. I'm just watching content. What are you talking about?
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. It's a great honor. Thank you very much. Speaker Johnson, Vice President Vance,
It ain't him.
First Lady of the United States.
By no means is it him.
Members of the United States
Appreciate the love, Louis.
Congress, thank you very much. And to my fellow
He is not.
citizens.
He is not.
America
Might be yours,
is
not mine. Not mine at all. My father knows when to sit his behind down. This is not my father.
Six weeks ago, I stood beneath the dome of this Capitol and proclaimed the dawn of the golden age of America. From that moment on, it has been nothing but swift and unrelenting action to usher in the greatest and most successful era
I'm a
in the
progressive.
history of our country.
That's what I
We've
am.
accomplished more in 43 days.
I vote
than most
Democrat because Democrats
administrations
was doing stuff for this
accomplished
country.
in 4 years or 8
Republicans
years,
are not.
and we are just getting started.
And if you try to argue with me otherwise, you should know who I am and what I do. Humble can't even tie his tie right. You got all that money. Call it what you want.
I return to this chamber tonight to report that America's momentum is back, our spirit is back, our pride is back.
Our pride is not
confidence
back.
is
Now what you
back,
bucking up against
and
our
the American
allies.
dream is surging bigger and better than ever before. The American dream is unstoppable, and our country is on the verge of a comeback, the likes of which the world has never witnessed. And
How are you gonna do that when you imposing
never
tariffs
witness
on
again.
everybody, on everything coming into
Never
this
been
doggone
anything like
country,
it.
with no plan to boost
The
our own
presidential
manufacturing here?
election of November 5th was a mandate like has not been seen in many decades. We won all 7 swing states, giving us an electoral college victory of 312 votes. We won the popular vote by big numbers and won counties in our country.
Lies. People didn't show up. Lies. Lies. All these people, they clapping in there, but they can't even face their own constituents.
Counties in our country, 2,700 to 525, on a map that reads almost completely red for Republican.
I appreciate it, love,
Now,
Leon.
for the first time in modern history, more Americans believe that our country is headed in the right direction.
It is
than
not.
the wrong direction. In fact, it's an astonishing record.
Gas prices are going up.
27
Food is up.
swing
There are no
votes.
houses. People can't even afford to get a home. There are no starter homes anymore. You got measles outbreaks here. Bird flu is killing chickens. You don't have no eggs.
Small business optimism saw its single largest one-month gain ever recorded, a 41-point jump.
Even froze the SAVE Act that Biden put into place to help people out with student loans.
Hold and maintain decorum in the House and to
Man, ain't nobody no damn decorum in the House.
That's your warning. Members are engaging in willful and continuing breach of decorum, and the chair is prepared to direct the Sergeant-at-Arms to restore order to the joint session.
But you have no problem with Marjorie Taylor Greene doing what she did to Biden.
Mr. Green, take your seat. Take your seat, sir. Take your seat. Finding that members continue to engage in willful and concerted disruption of proper decorum, the chair now directs the Sergeant-at-Arms to restore order. Remove this gentleman from the chamber.
But it look like he coming off a bench. Appreciate the love, colleague. It's like they cowards. That's my biggest thing when it comes to them. Like, everybody want to have performative stuff when they in the chambers, but when they get back to their own districts, they soft as hell.
Over the past 6 weeks, I have signed nearly 100 executive orders and taken more than 400 executive actions, a record to restore common sense, safety, optimism, and wealth all across our wonderful land. The people elected me to do the job, and I'm doing it.
How so? Like, he hasn't done anything with the cost of goods that people supposedly put him in power for.
In fact, it has been stated by many that the first month of our presidency, it's our presidency, is the most successful in the history of our nation.
That is not how that works. That is not how that works.
And what makes it even more impressive is that, do you know who number 2 is? George Washington. How about that? I don't know about that list, but we'll take it. Within hours of taking the oath of office, I declared a national emergency on our southern border, and I deployed the U.S. military and Border Patrol to repel the invasion of our country. And what a job they've done. As a result, illegal border crossings last month were by far the lowest ever recorded, ever.
It's been down. It's been down for a minute. I make content, man. Content creator.
And they chose not to come. Much easier that way.
So it's like I gotta know what this clown is doing so I can talk about it.
The worst president in American history. There were hundreds of thousands of illegal crossings a month, and virtually all of them, including murderers, drug dealers, gang members, and people from mental institutions and insane asylums, were released into our country. Who would want to do that? This is my 5th such speech to Congress. And once again, I look at the Democrats in front of me, and I realize there is absolutely nothing I can say to make them happy or to make them stand or smile or
Hey, Mariana.
nothing I can do. I could find a cure to the most devastating disease, a disease that would wipe out entire nations, or announce the answers to the greatest.
You had a whole pandemic the first time around, and you didn't want to believe that.
To the lowest levels ever recorded, and these people sitting right here will not clap, will not stand, and certainly will not cheer for these astronomical achievements. They won't do it, no matter what.
Not from you.
5 times I've been up here. It's very sad, and it just shouldn't be this way. So Democrats,
We should have loved TNT.
For just this one night, why not join us in celebrating so many incredible wins for America?
What wins?
For the good of our nation, let's work together and let's truly make America great again.
Ain't a lot of wins. Give me some wins. Give me some wins.
My administration is fighting to deliver the change America needs to bring a future that America deserves, and we're doing it. This is a time for big dreams and bold action. Upon taking office, I imposed an immediate freeze on all federal hiring, a freeze on all new federal regulations, and a freeze on all foreign aid.
Why is that a standing ovation? I got people that work in the federal government. Like, he froze, they had to let go of cybersecurity engineers. They had to let go of individuals in the
I
FAA.
withdrew from the unfair Paris Climate Accord, which was costing us trillions of dollars.
Global warming is a real thing.
I withdrew from the corrupt World Health Organization.
That's something to brag about? That we all fight with over the world to make sure that we have no viruses and diseases that, like he just said a minute ago, that will take us all out.
We ended all of Biden's
Appreciate the subscription. My bad. Can't even get my thoughts together. Appreciate it, Mariana.
Totally unaffordable. And importantly, we ended the last administration's insane electric vehicle mandate, saving our auto workers and companies from economic destruction.
So we don't need auto workers to work on EVs?
To unshackle our economy, I have directed that for every 1 new regulation, 10 old regulations must be.
You can call them that. But in Game of Thrones, we saw what happened with the Mad King.
And in that first term, we set
I was about to say
unnecessary rules and regulations like no other president had done before. We ordered all federal workers to return to the office. They will either show up for work in person or be removed from their job.
This chick standing up and she's barely in any committees.
We've ended weaponized government where, as an example, a sitting president is allowed to viciously prosecute his political opponent, like me.
Is that not what he's doing now?
Not too good. Not too good. And I have stopped all government censorship and brought back free speech in America. It's back.
disagree with that. You might want to talk to Musk. And you yourself, because he just put a mandate in place.
I signed an order making English the official language of the United States of America.
He just signed an executive order in place that the colleges, students can't even protest on campus. And if they do, that the schools will lose funding. And he was sending the National Guard to arrest them.
The Gulf of America.
So where's the free speech?
And likewise, I renamed for a great president, William McKinley, Mount McKinley again.
Just like he renamed a Confederate military base here in Georgia back to the Confederate general name.
So-called diversity, equity, and inclusion policies all across the entire federal government and indeed the private sector and our military. And our country will be woke no longer.
So what he's saying is our country gonna be black no longer. Hey, appreciate it, Mariana. I try to keep people informed.
I believe that whether you are a doctor, an accountant, a lawyer, or an air traffic controller, you should be hired and promoted based on skill and competence, not race or gender. Very important.
That ain't how the real world works.
You should be hired based on merit. And the Supreme Court, in a brave and very powerful decision, has allowed us to do so. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. We have removed the poison of critical race theory from our public schools, and I signed an order making it the official policy of the United States government that there are only two genders, male and female.
Critical race theory? So we can't talk about the history of this country? But if you look across the other side, you don't see nobody brown, hardly nobody brown over there.
I also signed
hit the
an executive order to
notification,
ban men
but appreciate you for
from
swinging by.
playing in women's sports. Ago, Peyton McNabb was an all-star high school athlete, one of the best, preparing for a future in college sports. But when her girls' volleyball match was invaded by a male, he smashed the ball so hard in Peyton's face, causing traumatic brain injury, partially paralyzing her right side, and ending her athletic career. It was a shot like she's never seen before. She's never seen anything like it. Peyton is here tonight in the gallery, and Peyton, from now on, schools will kick the men off the girls' team, or they will lose all federal funding.
I don't even know that's a thing. Like, that's not a thing.
And if you really want to see numbers, just take a look at what happened in the women's boxing, weightlifting, track and field, swimming, or cycling, where a male recently finished a long-distance race 5 hours and 14 minutes ahead of a woman for a new record by 5 hours. Broke the record by 5 hours.
What is he talking about?
For women, and it's very bad for our country. We're not going to put up with it any longer. What I have just described is only a small fraction of the common sense revolution that is now, because of us, sweeping the entire world.
Oh, I don't agree with that at all. I see what he's talking about. Yeah, that's kind of shady.
We will.
I ain't even gonna front on that one. I don't agree with that one at all.
Never gonna let that happen.
What's going on? Yeah, he's
My
sexist.
very highest priorities is to rescue our economy and get dramatic. And
I'm not disagreeing with that. I'm not disagreeing with that at all.
As you know, we inherited from the last administration an economic catastrophe and an inflation nightmare. Their policies drove up energy prices, pushed up grocery costs, and drove the necessities of life out of reach for millions and millions of Americans. They've never had anything like it. We suffered the worst inflation in 48 years, but perhaps even in the history of our country. They're not sure.
Bro, you putting us in even worse inflation with these tariffs.
And make America affordable again. Joe Biden especially let the price of eggs get out of control.
Bird flu.
The egg prices
Bird
out
flu.
of control. And we're working hard to get it back down. Secretary, do a good job on that. You inherited a total mess from the previous administration.
Bird flu. Even he confused. Like, I don't know what the hell he's talking about.
A major focus of our fight to defeat inflation is rapidly reducing the cost of energy. The previous administration cut the number of new oil and gas leases by 95%.
The chicken farmers have said it wasn't bird flu. What chicken farmers? Because every report that's come out has said it's bird flu.
100 power plants. We are opening up many of those.
There is no conspiracy going on. It was bird flu that caused a reduction of eggs. We had to ship eggs in from other countries.
And frankly, we have never seen anything like it. That's why on my first day in office, I declared a national energy emergency. As you've heard me say many times, we have more liquid gold under our feet than any nation on earth, and by far. And now I fully authorize the most talented team ever assembled to go and get it. It's called Drill, Baby, Drill.
I don't even know how I feel about that.
My administration is also working on a gigantic natural gas pipeline in Alaska, among the largest in the world.
How can I what? How can you not like?
Other nations want to be our partner with investments of trillions of dollars each. There's never been anything like that one. It will be truly spectacular. It's all set to go. The permitting is gotten. And later this week, I will also take historic action to dramatically expand production of critical minerals and rare earths here in the USA.
I'm actually cool with that. I'm not gonna complain about that. I'm cool with that. I'm fine with that.
To further combat inflation, we will not only be reducing the cost of energy, but we're
pulling too much from Africa.
The flagrant waste of taxpayer dollars.
I'm not going. I ain't gonna hold you. I'm not in disagreement with that. We do need to be mindful of minerals over here. We do.
And to that end, I have created the brand new Department of Government Efficiency. GOG.
That's some BS right there. That is some BS. Because he don't know what the hell he's doing.
Which is headed by Elon Musk, who is in the gallery tonight.
He's a fool. An uneducated fool on top of it.
Thank you, Elon. He's working very hard. He didn't need this. He didn't need this.
Yes, he did. It's about power and control.
Everybody here, even this side, appreciates it, I believe.
If you want to find waste and fraud, then why aren't you going after military spending? Why are you not going after the Pentagon? The Pentagon fails every audit every year with billions of dollars, reaching up to over $1 trillion. But he's not going after them. He's not going after our military spending and what we invest in other countries for their military budget.
$45 million.
Nah, that's some BS.
Equity and inclusion, scholarships.
Bro, if you don't want me talking, you can leave.
$40 million to improve the social and economic inclusion of sedentary migrants. Nobody knows what that is. $8 million to promote LGBTQI+ in the African nation of Lesotho, which nobody has ever heard of. $60 million for indigenous peoples and Afro-Colombian empowerment in Central America. $60 million. $8 million for making mice transgender.
I'm sipping on some peach ginger beer.
$32 million.
Good as hell too, mixed with some Hawaiian punch.
In Moldova. $10 million for male circumcision in Mozambique. $20 million for the Arab Sesame Street in the Middle East. It's a program. $20 million for a program. $1.9 billion to recently created Decarbonization of Homes Committee, headed up, and we know she's involved. Just at the last moment, the money was passed over by a woman named Stacey Abrams. Have you ever heard of her?
What? No.
A $3.5 million consulting contract for lavish fish monitoring. $1.5 million for voter confidence in Liberia. $14 million for social cohesion in Mali. $59 million for illegal alien hotel rooms in New York City. He's a real estate developer. He's done very well.
See, you're already confused. Two races? Two races?
Local climate
or genders? Is that what you mean?
In Zambia. $42 million for social and behavior change in Uganda. $14 million for improving public procurement in Serbia. $47 million for improving learning outcomes in Asia. Asia's doing very well with learning. You know what we're doing. Should use it ourselves.
You crazy, bro.
And $101 million
you crazy.
for DEI contracts at the Department of Education.
I'm gonna ask you the same thing I ask people when I'm out on the street canvassing and doing my activism work. If he's so great, give me some policies that he's done that's made this country great.
Talk about them. They're so bad.
You can go to congress.gov. Give me some policies that he's pitched to Congress.
And swiftly terminated by a group of very intelligent, mostly young people.
Those aren't policies.
Headed up by
Give me a bill number. He's not naming anything.
Hundreds of billions of dollars of fraud.
That's why I'm like, y'all coming on my stream. Y'all don't know who I am. I'm literally in these streets. So if you're gonna tell me something he's done great, give me a bill number that his party has sponsored to make this country great. Executive orders mean nothing when it comes down to the state. Those are just words.
Just in time. This is just the beginning. The Government Accountability Office, a federal government office, has estimated annual fraud of over $500 billion in our nation.
Tell you how government works.
We are working
executive orders mean nothing when it comes to the states. The states have complete control. They can block any executive order that he pushes out. It's for any president, not just him, it's any president.
For our seniors, and that our seniors and people that we love rely on. Believe it or not, government databases list 4.7 million Social Security members from people aged 100 to 109 years old.
I get on that when he done talking. Biden did a lot of stuff, and I don't care for Biden, but he did a lot of stuff.
People from ages 110 to 119. I don't know any of them. I know some people that are rather elderly, but not quite that elderly. 3.47 million people from ages 120 to 129. 3.9 million people from ages 130 to 139. 3.5 million people from ages 140 to 149. And money is being paid to many of them. And we're searching right now. In fact, Pam, good luck. Good luck. You're going to find it. But a lot of money is paid out to people because it just keeps getting paid, and nobody does. And it really hurts Social Security and hurts our country. 1.3 million people from ages 150 to 159, and over 130,000 people.
Right, I'm with that.
The Social Security databases.
Bro, if you want to get rid of Social Security, get rid of Social Security. Give me my money back. From the time I start working at 15, give me my money back.
A healthier country than I thought, Bobby.
If you want to get rid of Social Security, give me my money back from since I've been working since I was 15 years old. Give me all my money back. No, they're not getting rid of it. They want to pull money away from Social Security.
1,039 people between the ages of 220 and 229. One person between the age of 240 and 249. And one person is listed at 360 years of age.
Lies. Those are lies.
More than 100 years older than our country.
No, if you believe that, bro, I got an island I can sell to you.
That money's going, and it's not going to be pretty. By slashing all of the fraud, waste, and theft we can find, we will defeat inflation, bring down mortgage rates, lower car payments and grocery prices, protect our seniors, and put more money in the pockets of American families.
I can't believe you
And today,
believe.
interest rates took a
I don't believe
beautiful
nothing this man got to say.
beautiful drop. It's about time. And in the near future, I want to do what has not been done.
He had 4 years to show me he don't know what the hell he's
Balance
doing.
the federal budget. We're going to balance it.
That's my point. And his actions has shown me he don't know what the hell he's doing. He had 4 years to show me
We have
that.
developed in great detail what we are calling the Gold Card, which goes on sale very, very soon. For $5 million, we will allow the most successful job-creating people from all over the world to buy a path to U.S. citizenship. It's like the green card, but better and more sophisticated.
I can't hate him.
Pay tax in our country.
I don't like
They won't
racist
have
people.
To pay tax from where they came.
Sorry,
The money
I
that
don't.
they've made, you wouldn't want to do that, but they have to pay tax, create jobs. They'll also be taking people out of colleges and paying for them so that we can keep them in our country instead of having them being forced out. Number one, at the top school, as an example, being forced out and not being allowed to stay and create tremendous numbers of jobs and great success for a company out there. So while we take out the criminals, killers, traffickers, and child predators who are allowed to enter our country under the open border policy of these people, the Democrats, the Biden administration, the open border insane policies that you've allowed to destroy our country, we will now bring in brilliant, hardworking, job-creating people. They're going to pay a lot of money, and we're going to reduce our debt with that money.
Man, y'all about to see a total
Given
collapse
us a mandate for bold and profound change.
of this economy in this
nearly
country.
100 years, the federal bureaucracy has grown until it has crushed our freedoms, ballooned our deficits, and held back America's potential in every possible way. The
It's about to
nation
be a
founded
complete.
by
Oh, it's going to be
pioneers and
because of
risk
Trump.
takers now drowned
It
under
wholeheartedly is going to be because of Trump.
millions of pages of regulations and debt. Approvals that should take 10 days to get instead take 10 years, 15 years, and even 20 years before you're rejected. Meanwhile, we have hundreds of thousands of federal workers who have not been showing up to work. My administration will reclaim power from this unaccountable bureaucracy, and we
That's
will
BS
restore
right there.
true democracy to America again.
Bro, it don't matter. This man is still going to lead to the collapse of it. I mean, he's already putting stuff in place now to lead to that.
This change will be removed from office immediately. Because we are draining the swamp. It's very simple. And the days of rule by unelected bureaucrats are over.
The days of unelected bureaucrats are over. So why you got Elon Musk up in there? He's not elected.
And the next phase of our plan to deliver the greatest economy in history is for this Congress to pass tax cuts for everybody. They're in there. They're waiting for you to vote. And I'm sure that the people on my right, I don't mean the Republican right, but my right here, I'm sure you're going to vote for those tax cuts, because otherwise I don't believe the people will ever vote you into office. So I'm doing you a big favor by telling you that.
You crazy.
But I know this group is going to be voting for the tax.
Yeah, that's going to be tax cuts for rich people. That's how y'all got hoodwinked last time. He gave y'all some money, and after 2 years under his tax plan, your taxes went up.
We had tremendous success in our first term with it. A very big part of our plan. We're seeking permanent income tax cuts all across the board. And to get urgently needed relief to Americans hit especially hard by inflation, I'm calling
Nah, man, I can't even get down with that. Like, as much as I don't like this dude, I don't promote no violence.
And no tax on Social Security benefits for our great seniors.
I will say that I think 65 and older should be taken care of. They shouldn't have no cost for no health care, no the cost of living, none of this. I think seniors should be taken care of.
And I also want to make interest payments on car loans tax deductible, but only if the car is made in America. And by the way, we're going to have growth in the auto industry like nobody's ever seen. Plants are opening up all over the place. Deals are being made. Never seen. That's a combination of the election win and tariffs. It's a beautiful word, isn't it?
No, it's not.
Along with our other policies, will allow our auto industry to absolutely boom. It's going to boom. Spoke to the majors today, all three, the top people, and they're so excited. In fact, already numerous car companies have announced that they will be building massive automobile plants in America.
He does.
With Honda just announcing a new plant in Indiana, one of the largest anywhere in the world.
But Honda is not an American company. The main objective is to keep everything in-house, a.k.a. the States. I mean, I'm all for bringing manufacturing jobs and stuff back over here. I'm not going to disagree with that at all.
Victory on November 5th, a date which will hopefully go down as one of the most important in the history of our country.
I'm all for bringing jobs back to the U.S.
In addition, as part of our tax cuts, we want to cut taxes on domestic production and all manufacturing. And just as we did before, we will provide 100% expensing. It will be retroactive to January 20th, 2025. And it was one of the main reasons why our tax cuts were so successful in our first term, giving us
They were not successful.
the most successful economy in the history of our country.
They were not successful.
We had a great first term. If you don't make your product in America, however, under the Trump administration, you will pay a tariff, and in some cases, a rather large one. Other countries have used tariffs against us for decades, and now it's our turn to start using them against us.
So here's the issue with that. I'm in agreement with that, but the problem with that is too, though.
Union, China, Brazil, India, Mexico and Canada, have you heard of them?
It was for the
Countless
richest of
other
riches.
nations charge us tremendously higher tariffs than we charge them. It's very unfair.
That's a lie.
India charges us auto tariffs higher than 100%.
Yeah, this is live.
China's average tariff on our products is twice what we charge them. And South Korea's average tariff is 4 times higher. Think of that.
There's no
4
problem with stop
times.
listening to people on YouTube. Bro, I am not just a
So much
YouTuber.
help militarily and so many other ways to South Korea, but that's what happens.
When I
happening
tell you I'm a
Friend
former
info.
candidate
This system is not fair to the United States and
and
never
a former
was
post-it
until
holder out where I'm
April
at,
2nd.
and I'm still an
Wanted to
activist,
make it April 1st.
and I help contribute towards voter registration drives and everything else. I am not just somebody talking. I do the work.
That's not just one day was cost us a lot of money. But we're going to do it in April. I'm a very superstitious person. April 2nd, reciprocal
I am going against it
tariffs
because it's
begin.
lies.
And whatever they tariff us, other countries, we
It's
will
all lies.
tariff them. That's reciprocal, back and forth. Whatever they tax us.
Because we pay on tariffs. And if y'all don't understand that, you just ignorant as this dude is.
Monetary tariffs.
That's not how tariffs work. Do I think we should bring jobs back over here to the U.S.? I do 100%.
Non-monetary barriers to keep them out of our market. There's a lot of that, too. They don't even allow us in their market. We will take in trillions and trillions of dollars and create jobs like
It
we
is
have
going to hurt
never
our
seen
pockets, but these
before.
fools up in here don't
I
understand
did it
stuff
with
like
China,
that.
And I did it with others, and the Biden administration couldn't do anything about it because there was so much money they couldn't do anything about it. We have been ripped off for decades by nearly every country on earth, and we will not let that happen any longer.
If you manufacture stuff over here without increasing the corporate tax
Over the
rate, it's
last
going to cost
3
us a
months
ton of
about
money.
Mexico and Canada. But we have very large deficits with both of them. But even more importantly, they've allowed fentanyl to come into our country at levels never seen before, killing hundreds of thousands of our citizens and many very young, beautiful people, destroying families. Nobody's ever seen anything like it. They are, in effect, receiving subsidies of hundreds of billions of dollars. We pay subsidies to Canada,
If you buy American, yeah.
Mexico, of hundreds of billions of dollars, and the United States will not be doing that any longer. We're not going to do it any longer.
They don't.
Thanks to our America First policies we're putting into place, we have had $1.7 trillion of new investment in America in just the past few weeks. The combination of the election.
I'm in agreement with that. I think you should buy
economic
local.
Policies that people of SoftBank, one of the most brilliant anywhere in the world, announced a $200 billion investment. OpenAI and Oracle, Larry Ellison, announced $500 billion investment, which they wouldn't have done if Kamala had won. Apple announced $500 billion investment. Tim Cook called me. He said, I cannot spend it fast enough. It's going to be much higher than that, I believe.
What?
They'll be building their plants here instead of in China. And just yesterday, Taiwan Semiconductor, the biggest in the world, most powerful in the world, has a tremendous amount, 97% of the market, announced a $165 billion investment to build the most powerful chips on earth right here in the USA.
Microsoft has done that. Nah, man, it's gonna affect you whether you poor or not. It's gonna, yeah, no, it's still gonna affect you.
Giving them any money. Your CHIPS Act is a horrible, horrible thing. We give hundreds of billions of dollars, and it doesn't mean a thing. They take our money and they don't spend it. All that meant.
Bro, we
to them
literally
was
got
giving
plants
them
here
money.
that are funded
All
from the
that was
CHIPS
important
Act
to
that
them
has
was they
given
didn't want to pay the
jobs
tariffs, so they came and they're building
to
as many other
Americans
companies
in
are
this
coming.
country.
We don't have to give them money. We just want to protect our businesses and our people.
My kid's
And they
mom
will come because
literally
they won't have to
works
pay tariffs if they build
for a
in America.
silicon
So it's
manufacturing
very
plant
amazing.
in
We should
Michigan.
Get rid of the CHIP Act and whatever's left over.
And at that plant,
Speaker, you should
like she's a director there, and at that plant, they make silicon for chips here, and they got funding from under. They got some funding from under the CHIPS Act. No, noodles ain't gonna still be no 50 cents.
A new trade policy will also be great for the American farmer. I love the farmer. Who will now be selling into our home market, the USA, because nobody is going to be able to compete with you. Because there's goods that come in from other countries and companies. They're really in a bad position in so many different ways. They're uninspected. They may be very dirty and disgusting, and they come in and they pour in, and they hurt our American farmers. The tariffs will.
That's our stuff.
Agricultural product coming into America, and our farmers starting on April 2nd. It may be a little bit of an adjustment period. We had that before when I made the deal with China. $50 billion.
We got so much GMO stuff in our food.
Bear with me.
Other countries won't even accept it.
They did. Probably have to bear with me again, and this will be even better. That was great. The problem with it was that Biden didn't enforce it. He didn't enforce it. $50 billion of purchases, and we were doing great, but Biden did not enforce it, and it hurt our farmers. But our farmers are going to have a field day right now. So to our farmers, have a lot of fun. I love you too. I love you too. It's all going to happen.
How are you helping the farmers?
And I have also imposed a 25% tariff on foreign aluminum, copper, lumber, and steel, because if we don't have, as an example, steel and lots of other things, we don't have a military, and frankly, we just won't have a country very long. Here today is a proud American steelworker, fantastic.
Hey, I appreciate the love.
From Decatur, Alabama, Jeff Denard has been working at the same steel plant for 27 years in a job that has allowed him to serve as the captain of his local volunteer fire department, raise 7 children with his beautiful wife, Nicole, and over the years provide a loving home for more than 40 foster children. So great, Jeff.
I'm gonna say it again. I'm all for bringing manufacturing back over here. Like I am, but it's still going. It's going. If they don't impose corporate taxes and increase them, it's going to cost us a lot of money.
Remind us that tariffs are not just about protecting American jobs; they're about protecting the soul of our country. Tariffs are about making America rich again and making America great again, and it's happening, and it will happen rather quickly. There'll be a little disturbance, but we're okay with that. It won't be much. No, you're not. Oh. And look where Biden took us. Very low, the lowest we've ever been. Jeff, I want to thank you very much. And I also want to recognize another person who has devoted herself to foster care community. She works so hard on it. A very loving person, our magnificent First Lady of the United States.
Like, I'm going to talk. I ain't going to talk the whole time, but I'm going to talk. I'm going to give some commentary.
Melania's work has yielded incredible results, helping prepare our nation's future leaders as they enter the workforce. Our First Lady is joined by 2 impressive young women, very impressive. Haley Ferguson, who benefited from the First Lady's Fostering the Future initiative and is poised to complete her education and become a teacher. And Elliston Berry, who became a victim of an illicit deepfake image produced by a peer. With Elliston's help, the Senate just passed the Take It Down Act, and this is so important. Thank you very much, John. John Thune, thank you. Stand up, John.
The what? The Take It Down Act. There was already a bill against that.
Thank you. And thank you to John Thune and the Senate. Great job. To criminalize the publication of such images online is terrible, terrible thing. And once it passes the House, I look forward to signing that bill into law. Thank you. And I'm going to use that bill for myself, too, if you don't mind. Because nobody gets treated worse than I do online. Nobody.
I think Obama has something to say about that.
Thank you very much to the Senate. Thank you. But if we truly care about protecting Americans' children, no step
I
is
mean,
more crucial
Republicans
than
control the House.
securing America's borders. Over the past 4 years, 21 million people poured into the United States. Many of them were murderers, human traffickers, gang members, and other criminals from the streets of dangerous cities all throughout the world. Because of Joe Biden's insane and very dangerous open border policies, they are now strongly embedded in our country, but we are getting them out and getting them out fast.
The only reason they come here is because these corporations like paying for cheap labor. They want slave labor.
And I want to
It
thank
is.
Tom Homan and Christy. I want to thank you and Paul of Border Patrol. I want to thank you. What a job they've all done. Everybody, Border Patrol, ICE, law enforcement in general is incredible. We have to take care of our law enforcement. Have to.
Hey, you need to say that again wisely, because you got people up here that don't understand how stuff works.
Last year, a brilliant 22-year-old nursing student named Laken Riley, the best in her class, admired by everybody, went out for a jog on the campus of the University of Georgia. That morning, Laken was viciously attacked, assaulted, beaten, brutalized, and horrifically murdered. Laken was stolen from us by a savage illegal alien gang member who was arrested while trespassing across Biden's open southern border and then set loose into the United States under the heartless policies of that failed administration. It was indeed a failed administration. He had then been arrested and released in a Democrat-run sanctuary city, a disaster, before ending the life of this beautiful young angel.
So
with us this evening are Laken's beloved mother,
if y'all don't
Allison,
know
and her sister Lauren.
where this is at, Laken Riley, I'm gonna say it's bad. It happened here in Georgia. Georgia is a Republican state. And when I'm telling you ICE here is out of pocket, ICE don't care about if you are legal or illegal. ICE still snatching people up. Now, what happened to her was terrible.
Last year, I told Laken's grieving parents that we would ensure their daughter would not have died in vain. That's why the very first bill I signed into law as your 47th
This is a Republican state.
mandates
This is
the
a
detention of
Republican
all
state.
dangerous criminal aliens who threaten public safety. It's a very strong, powerful act.
And it happened in Athens. I'm like, is it purple here? It is, but it's purple like in the city of Atlanta and stuff. Like outside of there, like Athens is outside the perimeter. Like Athens is about
It's called the
2 hours, 2.5 hours.
Riley Act. So Allison,
Outside of
and
Atlanta?
America will never ever forget our beautiful Laken Hope Riley.
He is. ICE in Georgia, man. ICE in Georgia. They cold-blooded. That's why I'm like, it's sad what happened to her, but it's just a bad person. I mean, we got bad people. We got bad Americans.
Thank you very much. Since taking office, my administration has launched the most sweeping border and immigration crackdown in American history, and we quickly achieved the lowest numbers of illegal border crossers ever recorded. Thank you.
What's about refund? You think the Doge refund? Nah, that ain't gonna happen. What refund?
The media And our friends in the Democrat Party kept saying we needed new legislation. We must have legislation to secure
Those.
the border. But it turned out that
See, I'm trying not to talk while this dude is talking.
Was a new president.
All that for federal positions in departments, those are appropriated funds by Congress. You can't give back something to people that was appropriated by Congress. Like people that took that whole 8-month leave, you can't do that.
He didn't just open our borders, he flew illegal aliens.
Because renewal comes up next month or this month.
Our schools, hospitals, and communities throughout the country. Entire towns like Aurora, Colorado, and Springfield, Ohio, buckled under the weight of the migrant occupation and corruption like nobody's ever seen before. Beautiful towns destroyed. Now, just as I promised in my inaugural address, we are achieving the great liberation of America.
What town destroyed? What are you talking about?
But there still is much work to be done. Here tonight is a woman I have gotten to know, Alexis Nungari.
Oh, he got to know her, all right. She pretty too?
Wonderful woman. Last June, Alexis's 12-year-old daughter, her precious Jocelyn, walked to a nearby convenience store. She was kidnapped, tied up, assaulted for 2 hours under a bridge, and horrifically murdered. Arrested and charged with this heinous crime are 2 illegal alien monsters from Venezuela, released into America by the last administration through their ridiculous open border. The death of this beautiful 12-year-old girl and the agony of her mother and family touched our entire nation greatly. Alexis, I promised that we would always remember your daughter, your magnificent daughter, and earlier tonight, I signed an order keeping my word to you. One thing I have learned about Jocelyn is that she loved animals so much. She loved nature. Across Galveston Bay, from where Jocelyn lived in Houston, you will find a magnificent national wildlife refuge, a pristine, peaceful, 34,000-acre sanctuary for all of God's creatures on the edge of the Gulf of America. Alexis, moments ago, I formally renamed that refuge in loving memory of your beautiful daughter, Jocelyn. So, Mr. Vice President, if you would, may I have the order?
So it's sad what happened to her daughter. But we do have a huge human trafficking problem here in the U.S. that nobody talks about. Like I was arguing with Democrats here in the state of Georgia that even when they were campaigning, they don't talk about the human trafficking that we have going on here in Georgia alone. But to make it seem like it's just people not illegals coming into this country doing that is crazy as hell. It is Americans doing that just as much as illegals are.
All 3 savages charged with Jocelyn and Lakin's murders were members of the Venezuelan prison gang, the toughest gang, they say, in the world, known as Tren de Aragua. 2 weeks ago, I officially designated this gang, along with MS-13 and the bloodthirsty Mexican drug cartels, as foreign terrorist organizations.
Because every year, it's what, 2,000, 3,000 kids go missing every year?
They are now officially
over 460,000 kids are reported missing every year.
Good for them.
Nobody talks about that. No Democrat or Republican.
Were welcomed into the U.S. by the Biden administration. But now every last one will be rounded up and forcibly removed from our country, or, if they're too dangerous, put in jails, standing trial in this country, because we don't want
Trump don't talk about that. Come on now.
to come back ever.
You need to stop kidding yourself. You're trolling now. I mean, you've been trolling, but you're really trolling. Trump does not talk about that.
Agent Roberto Ortiz, great guy.
He does not talk about human trafficking. Hell, he played in party with Epstein. So he ain't talking about that. It's how much stuff coming to light. So why he blacklisted some of the stuff on Epstein report that was released out?
In January, Roberto and another agent were
Why he do that?
by the Rio Grande near an area known as Cartel Island. Doesn't sound too nice to me. When heavily armed gunmen started shooting at them, Roberto saw that his partner was totally exposed, at great danger, and he leapt into action, returning fire and providing crucial seconds for his fellow agent to seek safety, just barely. I have some of the prints of that event, and it was not good. Agent Ortiz, we salute you for your great courage and for your line of fire that you took and for the bravery that you showed. We honor you, and we will always honor you. Thank you, Roberto, very much.
Trump brought home so many of those kids like on day 2. Man, bro, he ain't did. Bro, stop. Stop, man.
And I actually got to know him on my many calls to the border. He's a great gentleman. The territory to the immediate south of our border is now dominated entirely by criminal cartels that murder, rape, torture, and
I agree with that
exercise total control. They have total control over a whole nation, posing a grave threat to our national security. The cartels are waging war in America, and it's time for America to wage war on the cartels, which we are doing.
I ain't got no problem with that. I don't have no problem with that at all. I mean, they should have been did that. I mean, we out here bombing sovereign nations.
5 months ago, Mexican authorities, because of our tariff policies being imposed on them, think of this, handed over to us 29 of the biggest cartel leaders in their country. That has never happened before. They want to make us happy.
What?
First time ever. But we need Mexico and Canada to do much more than they've done, and they have to stop the fentanyl and drugs pouring into the USA. They're going to stop it. I have sent Congress a detailed funding request laying out exactly how we will eliminate these threats to protect our homeland and complete the largest deportation operation in American history, larger even than current record holder President Dwight D. Eisenhower, a moderate
that was
man,
true,
but someone who believed very strongly in borders. Americans expect Congress to send me this funding without delay so I can sign it into law. So
yeah, he is doing that.
Mr. Speaker, John Thune, both of you, I hope you're going to be able to do that, Mr. Speaker. Thank you. Mr. Leader, thank you. Thank you very much. And let's get it to me. I'll sign it so fast, you won't even believe it.
They hide drugs everywhere coming to this country. But we consume them.
And as we reclaim our sovereignty, we must also bring
he
back
do look evil.
law and order to
He
our
is evil.
cities and towns.
I mean, you saw how he was with Zelensky.
In recent years, our justice system has been turned upside down by radical left.
You mean you love your king?
lunatics. Many jurisdictions virtually ceased enforcing the law against dangerous repeat offenders while weaponizing law enforcement against political opponents like me. My administration has acted swiftly and decisively to restore fair, equal, and impartial justice under the constitutional rule of law, starting at the FBI and the DOJ. Pam, good luck. Cash, wherever you may be, good luck. Good luck.
You fired FBI agents for doing their job, doing what they were told to do.
Going to do a great job. Cash, thank you. Thank you, Cash.
Can't nobody go on their job until they employ what they not gonna do. Nobody. They was instructed to do something, they did their job.
They've already started very strong. They're going to do a fantastic job. You're going to be very proud of them. We're also once again giving our police officers the support, protection, and respect they so dearly deserve. They have to get it. They have such a hard, dangerous job, but we're going to make it less dangerous. The problem is the bad guys don't respect the law, but they're starting to respect it, and they soon will respect it.
His own January 6 people don't respect the law.
Great fire departments throughout the country. Our firemen and women are unbelievable people, and we'll never forget them. And besides that, they voted for me in record numbers, so I have no choice.
They get the animals to cross for them. What?
1 year ago this month, 31-year-old New York police officer Jonathan Diller, unbelievably wonderful person and a great officer, was gunned down at a traffic stop on Long Island. I went to his funeral. The vicious criminal charged with his murder had 21 prior arrests, and they were rough arrests, too. He was a real bad one. The thug in the seat next to him had 14 prior arrests and went by the name of Killer. He was Killer. He killed other people, they say, a lot of them. I attended Officer Diller's service, and when I met his wife and one-year-old son, Ryan, it was very inspirational, actually. His widow's name is Stephanie, and she is here tonight. Stephanie, thank you very much, Stephanie. Thank you very much.
Be playing these people, man. He be playing these people. How much fraud and corruption have we done? So I'm saying, like, his own folks be committing crimes against police officers, but he don't do nothing but pardon them.
Stephanie, we're going to make sure that Ryan knows his dad was a true hero, New York's finest, and we're going to get these cold-blooded killers and repeat offenders off our streets, and we're going to do it fast. Got to stop it. They get out with 28 arrests. They push people into subway trains. They hit people over the head, back of the head with baseball bats. We got to get them
people
out
crazy.
of here. I've already signed an
People are
executive order
crazy.
requiring a mandatory death penalty for anyone who murders a police officer. And tonight I'm asking Congress to pass that policy into permanent law.
You know, what about civilians too, though? Like, you say that, so you gonna pass that for civilians too?
I'm also asking for a new crime bill getting tough on repeat offenders while enhancing protections for America's police officers so they can do their jobs without fear of their lives being totally destroyed. They don't want to be killed. We're not going to let them be killed.
Bro, police officers just as bad too. Not all of them. I got family that was police force.
Joining us in the gallery tonight is a young man who truly loves our police. His name is DJ Daniel. He is 13 years old.
I have no problem
and
with
he has
him,
always
man.
dreamed of becoming a police officer.
I hope he a decent one. They had a dude in Chicago, got pulled over, wrongfully pulled over. Cops pulled guns out on him and told him they would execute him on the spot until they realized they had the wrong person. Wouldn't even listen to dude. And then when dudes start bucking back at them, it was like, I told you, I don't have no priors, no nothing. And you had the wrong person, and you threatening to hurt me. Nah, man, they shady, man. And he trying to get them complete immunity.
But in 2018, DJ was diagnosed with brain cancer. The doctors gave him 5 months at most to live. That was more than 6 years ago.
This is what we should be working on. Finding a cure for cancer and other diseases and stuff. Not worry about no trans people and none of this other BS that they always talking about. Because like his homie Putin, right? Didn't Putin say he had a cure for cancer?
On a quest to make his dream come true, and DJ has been sworn in as an honorary law enforcement officer
I'm mad at his daddy though. Why you got a do-rag on, big
The
homie?
police love him. The police departments love
Why
him.
you got a do-rag
And tonight, DJ,
on?
we're going to do you the biggest honor of them all. I am asking our new Secret Service Director, Sean Curran, to officially make you an agent of the United States Secret Service.
I'm not gonna knock that. If that's what his ambitions are, a little man should have that. Like I'm not even gonna get mad. I'm not even gonna say nothing negative on 47 about that. Like if that's his ambition and you don't know how long he gonna be here, that's a good thing. Yeah, he could have just made him officer.
Thank you, DJ. DJ's doctors believe his cancer likely came from a chemical he was exposed to when he was younger. Since 1975, rates of child cancer have increased by more than 40%. Reversing this trend is one of the top priorities for our new presidential commission to make America Healthy Again, chaired by our new Secretary of Health and Human Services, Robert F. Kennedy, Jr.
Bro, all the lead in our water, what's going on in Michigan? Wasn't he in office when Michigan was getting poisoned? What is he talking about? Oh, dude, come on now.
With the name Kennedy, you would have thought everybody over here would have been cheering.
Hell no, RFK Jr. crazy as hell.
Our goal is to get toxins out of our environment.
He was in office, but I'm saying he came in afterwards too. Like nobody really had been doing much. Well, that's not true.
Not long
47,
ago,
45 at the time didn't do anything for
can't even
Flint.
believe these numbers. 1 in 10,000 children had autism. 1 in 10,000. And now it's 1 in 36. There's something wrong. 1 in 36. Think of that. So we're going to find out what it is, and there's nobody better than Bobby and all of the people that are working with you. You have the best to figure out what is going on. Okay, Bobby? Good luck. It's a very important job.
It ain't vaccines. Because if it was vaccines, you wouldn't have all them kids dying off in Texas right now from measles.
Thank you. My administration is also working to protect our children from toxic ideologies in our schools. A few years ago,
Bro, the COVID shot.
January, Little John
The COVID
and her
shot.
husband discovered that their daughter's school had secretly
Venezuela not
socially
getting any more money from
transitioned their
us tax.
13-year-old
Dude, don't get about no Venezuela. What you talking about?
Teachers and administrators conspired to deceive January and her husband while encouraging her daughter to use a new name and pronouns. They, them pronoun, actually.
What?
All without telling January, who is here tonight and is now a courageous advocate against this form of child abuse. January, thank you. Thank you.
What are you talking about? What? Bro, you got me distracted. What the hell is he talking about?
Thank you. Stories like this are why, shortly after taking office, I signed an executive order banning public
stupid?
schools from indoctrinating our children with
Care that
transgender
much and why
ideology.
send Africa for medication.
I also signed an order to cut off all taxpayer funding to any institution that engages in the sexual mutilation of our youth.
Nobody does that. No, nobody does that. Yeah, y'all funny.
I want Congress to pass a bill permanently banning and criminalizing sex changes on children and forever ending the lie that any child is trapped in the wrong body. This is a big lie.
Yeah, you funny.
And our message to every child in America is that you are perfect exactly the way God made you.
When was America great before, William? Like, give me a time it was great for every American.
Wokeness out of our schools and out of our military, and it's already out, and it's out of our society. We don't want it. Wokeness is trouble. Wokeness is bad. It's gone. It's gone. And we feel so much better for it, don't we? Don't we feel
Who from Europe? Shawty, I'm from. Oh, you talking to William. Right.
Our service members won't be activists and ideologues. They will be fighters and warriors. They will fight for our country. And Pete, congratulations. Secretary.
I'm gonna be real with you. I don't care if a trans person fighting in the military, because when you got bullets coming your way, I ain't thinking about the sex of the person next to me and what they identify as. I need to make sure somebody got my back.
He's not big into the woke movement, I can tell you. I know him well. I am pleased to report that in January, the U.S. Army had its single best recruiting month in 15 years, and that all armed services are having among the best recruiting results ever in the history of.
See the look on their face?
What a difference.
I got people in the military. That's cap. They like, that's some BS. They are having a hard time recruiting. Now, I will say this, they have a hard time recruiting kids.
A few months ago, where the results were exactly the opposite. We couldn't recruit anywhere. We couldn't recruit. Now we're having the best results.
A lot of these kids are out of shape.
What a tremendous turnaround. It's really a beautiful thing to see. People love our country again. It's very simple. They love our country, and they love being in our military again.
They can't pass the physical exam.
Thank you very much. Great job. Thank you.
Like, kids are smarter nowadays, but they're not out. They're not physically active. They can't pass that physical exam. Right, I'm in agreement with it. As long as you get a job done.
By a young man,
Bernie looking
Jason
rough.
Hartley, who knows the weight of that call of duty. Jason's father, grandfather, and great-grandfather all wore the uniform. Jason tragically lost his dad, who was also a Los Angeles County Sheriff's deputy when he was just a boy, and now he wants to carry on the family legacy of service. Jason is a senior in high school, a 6-letter varsity athlete, a really good athlete, they say, a brilliant student with a 4.46, that's good, GPA.
A 4.46.
And his greatest dream is to attend
What is a
the
4.46?
US Military Academy at West Point.
A 4.46. I'm saying, I mean, he said 4.46. I'm not gonna say nothing bad about a kid, unless he Kyle Rittenhouse. I'm not gonna say nothing bad about a
That's a very
kid.
big deal getting in. That's a hard one to get into, but
I don't speak negative about children.
I'm pleased to inform you that your application has been accepted. You will soon be joining the Corps of Cadets.
Yeah, I can't say, I don't say nothing bad about children. I don't care who they support. I don't say nothing bad about children. Oh, he came over and gave him a high five. It's Trump tasting the NFL draft and let it out.
Thank you. Jason, you're going to be on the long gray line, Jason. As Commander-in-Chief, my focus is on building the most powerful military of the future.
Hey, man, Naval Academy got a good football
As a first
team.
step, I'm asking Congress to fund a state-of-the-art Golden Dome missile defense shield to protect our homeland, all made in the USA.
Even, see, they like, dude, we already got this stuff.
And Ronald Reagan wanted to do it long ago, but the technology just wasn't there, not even close. But now we have the technology.
A dome?
It's incredible, actually. And other places they have it. Israel has it. Other places have it. And the United States should have it too. Right, Tim? Right? they should have it too. So I want to thank you. But it's a
Fund the poor
very
homeless.
important issue.
Exactly.
Very dangerous world. We should have it. We want to be protected, and we're going to protect our citizens like never before. To boost our defense industrial base, we are also going to resurrect the American shipbuilding industry, including commercial shipbuilding and military shipbuilding.
So, on that front, we've invested billions of dollars
I'm announcing tonight,
on battleships with lasers.
create a new Office of Shipbuilding in the White House and offer special tax incentives to bring this industry home to America where it belongs. We used to make so many ships. We don't make them anymore very much, but we're going to make them very fast, very soon. It will have a huge
They don't care about
impact.
homeless people.
To further enhance our national security, my administration will be reclaiming the Panama Canal, and we've already started doing it.
Like, why is it important renaming the Panama Canal? All right, I'm like, we have our defense system.
A large American company announced they are buying both ports around the Panama Canal.
Is so OP.
And lots of other things having to do with the Panama Canal and a couple of other canals. The Panama Canal was built by Americans for Americans, not for others, but others could use it. But it was built at tremendous cost of American blood and treasure. 38,000 workers died building the Panama Canal. They died of malaria. They died of snake bites and mosquitoes. Not a nice place to work. They paid them very highly to go there, knowing
Get
there
ye in office.
was a 25% chance that they would die.
Hey, man, he might do better.
The most expensive project also that was ever built in our country's history, if you bring it up to modern day costs. It was given away by the Carter administration for $1, but that agreement has been violated very severely.
I mean, dude, he lied. You don't want to listen to me talk? Go find it on YouTube.
Gave it to Panama, and we're taking it back. And we have Marco Rubio in charge. Good luck, Marco. Now, we know who to blame if anything goes wrong. Marco's been amazing, and he's going to do a great job. Think of it, he got 100 votes. You know, he was approved with actually 99, but the 100th was this gentleman, and I feel very certain. So let's assume he got 100 votes. And I'm either very, very happy about that or I'm very concerned about it.
What?
But he's already proven. I mean, he's a great gentleman. He's respected by everybody, and we appreciate you voting for Marco. He's going to do a fantastic job. Thank you. Thank you. He's doing a great job.
He is not doing a great job.
Great job. And I also have a message tonight for the incredible people of Greenland. We strongly support your right to determine your own future. And if you choose, we welcome you into the United States of America. We need Greenland for
He's trying to do
national
something we've been trying
security
to
and
do
even
for a long
international
while. Not
security.
like what?
We're working with everybody involved to try and get it. But we need it really for international world security. And I think we're going to get it. One way or the other, we're going to get it. We will keep you safe. We will make you rich, and together we will take Greenland to heights like you have never thought possible before.
Greenland
Very
doing
small
perfectly fine
population,
without us.
But very, very large piece of land and very, very important for
And I saw that
military
Russia here used
security.
its
America
subs
is
to the
once
North
again
Pole over
standing
there.
strong against the forces of radical
Half the
Islamic
territory, again, that
terrorism.
was-
3.5 years ago, ISIS terrorists killed 13 American service members and countless others.
Russia does have a lot of military bases up there. I will give you that one.
During the disastrous and incompetent withdrawal from Afghanistan. Not that they were withdrawing, it was the way they withdrew. Perhaps the most embarrassing moment in the history of our country.
What?
Tonight,
Catholic
I'm
territory
pleased
get
to
back.
announce that we have just apprehended the top terrorist responsible for that.
Hey, man, y'all coming up in here telling me to be
And he
quiet.
is right now on his
Y'all
way
can
here
EAD
to
and
face
get
the
to stepping.
swift sword of American justice. And I want to thank especially the government of Pakistan for helping arrest this monster. This was a very momentous day for those 13 families who I actually got to know very well.
Yeah, it's live.
Whose children were murdered, and the many people that were so badly, over 42 people, so badly injured on that fateful day in Afghanistan. What a horrible day. Such incompetence was shown that when Putin saw what happened, I guess he said, wow, maybe this is my chance. That's how bad it was. Should have never happened. Grossly incompetent people. I spoke to many of the parents and loved ones, and they're all in our hearts tonight. Just spoke to them on the phone. We had a big call. Every one of them called, and everybody was on the line, and they did nothing but cry with happiness. They were very happy, as happy as you can be under those circumstances. Their child, brother, sister, son, daughter was killed for no reason whatsoever. In the Middle East, we're bringing back our hostages from Gaza. In my first term, we achieved one of the most groundbreaking peace agreements in generations, the Abraham Accords. And now we're going to build on that foundation to create a more peaceful and prosperous future for the entire region. A lot of things are happening in the Middle East. People have been talking about that so much lately with everything going on with Ukraine and Russia. But a lot of things are happening in the Middle East. It's a rough neighborhood, actually. I'm also
Ukraine and Russia in the Middle
tirelessly
East?
to end the savage conflict in Ukraine. Millions of Ukrainians and Russians have been needlessly killed or wounded in this horrific and brutal conflict with no end in sight. The United States has sent hundreds of billions of dollars to support Ukraine's defense.
So get Russia to stop.
With no security, with no anything. Do you want to keep it going for another 5 years? Yeah, you would say Pocahontas says yes.
Again, racist.
2,000 people are being killed every single week. More than that. They're Russian young people. They're Ukrainian young people. They're not Americans. But I want it to stop. Meanwhile, Europe has sadly spent more money buying Russian oil and gas than they have spent on defending Ukraine, by far. Think of that. They've spent more buying Russian oil and gas than they have defending. And we've spent perhaps $350 billion, like taking candy from a baby. That's what happens. And they've spent $100 billion. What a difference that is. And we have an ocean separating us, and they don't. But we're getting along very well with them, and lots of good things are happening.
What?
Biden has authorized more money in this fight than Europe has spent by billions and billions of dollars. It's hard to believe that they wouldn't have stopped it and said at some point, come on, let's equalize. You got to be equal to us. But that didn't happen. Earlier today, I received an important letter from President Zelensky of Ukraine. The letter reads, Ukraine is ready to come to the negotiating table as soon as possible to bring lasting peace closer. Nobody wants peace more than the Ukrainians, he said. My team and I stand ready to work under President Trump's strong leadership to get a peace that lasts. We do really value how much America has done to help Ukraine maintain its sovereignty and independence. Regarding the agreement on minerals and security, Ukraine is ready to sign it at any time that is convenient for you. I appreciate that he sent this letter, just got it a little while ago, Simultaneously, we've had serious discussions with Russia and have received strong signals that they are ready for peace. Wouldn't that be beautiful? Wouldn't that be beautiful? Wouldn't that be beautiful? It's time to stop this madness. It's time to halt the killing. It's time to end
Trump
this
is the best
senseless war.
president.
If you want to end
Oh, that's some
wars, you
funny
have
stuff.
to talk to both sides. Nearly 4 years and sentenced to 14 years in a penal colony. Rough stuff. The previous administration barely lifted a finger to help him. They knew he was innocent, but they had no idea where to begin. But last summer, I promised his 95-year-old mother, Malphine, that we would bring her boy safely back home. After 22 days in office, I did just that, and they are here tonight.
Hey, man, I was trying to fact check and people telling me to shut up. Trump is working, but the question really is, bro, you got to pass a bill. You got to present a bill. Executive orders don't work. You got to present a bill to Congress. Trump supporters don't think at all. They don't think at all. Yes.
To Mark and his great mom, we are delighted to have you safe and sound and with
They got
us.
2. No, they got 3.
As fate would have it, Mark Fogel was born in a small rural town in Butler, Pennsylvania. Have you heard of it? Where his mother has lived for the past 78 years. I just happened to go there last July 13th for a rally. That was not pleasant. And that is where I met his beautiful mom right before I walked onto that
No, bro, you
stage.
can't do that.
And I told her I would not forget what she said about her son. And I never did I?
I love everybody.
Less than 10 minutes later, at that same rally, gunfire rang out, and a sick and deranged assassin unloaded 8 bullets from his sniper's perch into a crowd of many thousands of people. My life was saved by a fraction of an inch, but some were not so lucky. Corey Comparator was a firefighter, a veteran, a Christian, a husband.
Bro, we all
a
need
devoted
everybody.
Father, and above all, a protector. When the sound of gunshots pierced the air, it was a horrible sound. Corey knew
You got to start
instantly
getting away
what it
from
was and what to do.
racist and religious
He
stuff
threw
and
himself
fights
on top of his
and
wife
work towards the
daughters
evolution of man.
and shielded them from the bullets with his own body. Corey was hit really hard. You know the story from there. He sacrificed his life to save theirs.
We got to start working
2
towards
others,
the
very
sake of
fine
humanity
people, were
to
also
help out all of
seriously
us
hit.
as a species.
But thankfully, with the help of 2
I will
great
always scream that.
country doctors,
And I come from a racist state.
thought they were gone and they
And
were
grew up
saved.
in
All
a
those
racist
doctors
place.
Had great talent. We're joined by Corey's wife, Helen, who was his high school sweetheart, and their 2 beloved daughters, Allison and Kaylee. Thank you.
Bro, Google it. You don't want me talk. I ain't been talking that much. I've been trying to hear what he been saying.
To Helen, Allison, and Kaylee, Corey is looking down on his 3 beautiful ladies right now, and he is cheering you on. He loves you. He is cheering you on.
They don't.
Corey was taken from us much too soon, but his destiny was to leave us all with a shining example of the selfless devotion of a true American patriot. It was love like Corey's that built our country, and it's love like Corey's that is going to make our country more majestic than ever before. I believe that my life was saved that day in Butler for a very good reason. I was saved by God to make America great again. I believe that.
I don't believe that at all, because you don't even know who God is.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. From the patriots of Lexington and Concord to the heroes of Gettysburg and Normandy, from the warriors who crossed the Delaware to the trailblazers who climbed the Rockies, and from the legends who soared at Kitty Hawk to the astronauts who touched the moon, Americans have always been the people who defied all odds, transcended all dangers, made the most extraordinary sacrifices, and did whatever it took to defend our children, our country, and our freedom. And as we have seen in this chamber tonight, that same strength, faith, love, and spirit is still alive and thriving in the hearts of the American people.
He doesn't.
Despite the best efforts of those who would try to censor us, silence us, break us, destroy us, Americans are today a proud, free, sovereign, and independent nation that will always be free, and we will fight for it till death. We will never let anything happen to our beloved country, because we are a country of doers, dreamers, fighters, and survivors. Our ancestors crossed a vast ocean, strode into the unknown wilderness, and carved their fortunes from the rock and soil of a perilous and very dangerous frontier. They chased our destiny across a boundless continent. They built the railroads, laid the highways, and graced the world with American marvels like the Empire State Building, the mighty Hoover Dam, and the towering Golden Gate Bridge. They lit the world with electricity, broke free of the force of gravity, fired up the engines of American industry, vanquished the communists, fascists, and Marxists all over the world, and gave us countless modern wonders sculptured out of iron, glass, and steel. We stand on the shoulders of these pioneers who won and built the modern age. These workers who poured their sweat into the skylines of our cities. These warriors who shed their blood on fields of battle and gave everything they had for our rights and for our freedom. Now it is our time to take up the righteous cause of American liberty. And it is our turn to take America's destiny into our own hands and begin the most thrilling days in the history of our country. This will be our greatest era. With God's help, over the next 4 years, we are going to lead this nation even higher. And we are going to forge the freest, most advanced, most dynamic, and most dominant civilization ever to exist on the face of this earth. We are going to create the highest quality of life, build the safest and wealthiest and healthiest and most vital communities anywhere in the world. We are going to conquer the vast frontiers of science, and we are going to lead humanity into space and plant the American flag on the planet Mars and even far beyond.
Bro, you might want to look at Canada's history too now before you start praising Canada.
And through it all, we are going to rediscover the unstoppable power of the American spirit. And we are going to renew unlimited promise of the American dream. Every single day, we will stand up and we will fight, fight, fight for the country our citizens believe in.
I mean, he's been talking for a minute. I gotta go to the bathroom now. How did my hand be talking trash? Right. I mean, y'all need to calm down. It ain't that serious.
Get ready for an incredible future because the golden age of America has only just begun. It will be like nothing that has ever been seen before. Thank you, God bless you, and God bless America.
Come on, the hood. Oh, you need to calm down. It ain't even that serious. I'm unapologetically black too, but I still love everybody because we need allies in anything and everything. Nobody can exist in this world by themselves. That's why I always say, you always hear me say that we need to focus on the evolution of man and get away from being racist, get away from religious doctrines and all that stuff that separates us. We need to come together as one to focus on how we can better ourselves, how we can fight these diseases, how we can increase our lifespan, how we can have better stuff to improve our health, and we can get rid of homelessness. We can fight against those that will have issues against us. That's what we need to focus on. Like all this crap talking about trans this or the woke stuff, it's all crap meant to divide all of us. Like this man has done nothing. He has put no policies in place that do anything for the average Americans. And all y'all 47 supporters and 45 supporters out there, you can tell me all day long he's the greatest president, but you can't give me a bill or a policy to support that argument at all because there are no bills and there are no policies to support anything that he has done. So if you want to talk to me, I'm not just some keyboard warrior. I'm not just somebody sitting on YouTube or a content creator. I am actively out here in these streets. I'm actively out here talking to people. I'm actively out here doing voter registration. I'm making sure people understand about policies locally and federally. So when I start speaking on stuff, I'm speaking on facts. I'm not speaking on my opinion on anything. Because a lot of the times, most of y'all people that's online, the most people that's online, they got the most smoke, ain't doing nothing in the community. I volunteer in my community. I do food drives in my community. I am in these streets. So when I'm talking about this dude or any politician, I don't care if it's Democrat or Republican, if you're not doing nothing to help out average people, then you gonna catch the smoke from me all day, every day. Tell me what Biden did in 4 years as president. First of all, you want to know what Biden did? First of all, he helped lower the cost of medication. I'm going to give you that one all day because I just faced it with my own father. My father, before Biden put in his executive order to lower the cost of medication, was paying $450 for his insulin. And then when Biden put in his executive order for medication, it dropped down to $50. You know how much he paying for insulin now? Now that Trump canceled that executive order, he rescinded that. $600 goes towards his cost of insulin. So that alone enough for me. And I ain't no supporter of Biden. I wasn't a supporter of Biden when he put in that criminal reform bill that came out years ago when he was locking up people left and right. I'm not a fan of his, but he did do stuff to help out this economy. Now, if you want to sit here and talk to me talking about what did Biden do, you can go. I ain't gonna even tell you to do a Google. I'm just telling you what hit home personally for me, especially when it came to Medicare and Medicaid. He did like the chips bill. The bill that brought money back to help out manufacturing in this country, the one I just listed off, that's actually paying for it and helped donate. I think it was $5 million went towards this company here in doggone Michigan, in Michigan alone, to do silicon, not just for processors. If the CHIPS Act was so terrible, Elon Musk, he got money from the CHIPS Act. So if you want to say that Biden did something terrible, then Elon alone should be dropping out of there and giving that money back to the American people. And President Obama wasn't, and I'm a President Obama fan, but he was not the best president of all time. He was not the best president. He wasn't. He helped us through a recession. He brought us out of that recession that he inherited from George W. Bush. Yes, he caused us to have a booming economy, but I'm still not in agreement with some of the war stuff that he did, bombing these people indiscriminately overseas. Yes, I agree that he did not want to put boots on the ground, but to be dropping bombs on people, killing civilians, I'm not in agreement with that at all. No politician is great, not a single one, but this fool right here, nah, he needed to sit his behind down. That he's done nothing for average Americans, and for all y'all sitting here supporting him, you can't tell me nothing that he's done to help you out. Like, you can argue with me all day long about illegal people coming across this border, and I do have problem with illegal people coming across this border, but the only reason they're coming over here is because of we're not regulating these countries that pay for cheap slave labor. Now, Jake, you're in exchange healthcare for nobody to fall sick.
President, home run. Thank you. Great job. Killed it.
So if you want to talk about, it's all about supply and demand. So if you want to stop people coming over here illegally, then you need to regulate these companies that don't want to pay regular American wages to do some of the stuff. And then some of y'all regular Americans not going to want to do it anyway.
Love you, Mr. President. Yes.
Thank you, everybody.
Do I know what history? Shawty, I live and breathe history. I live and breathe history, so I know you ain't talking to me.
He thinks very highly of you. Oh, he was tremendous.
We what?
He was a great guy.
Can't even scroll up.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Mr. Jr., you did a great job. Thank you very much.
Home run, Mr.
Yeah,
President.
right.
Home run. Home run.
That was a good one. President, good to see you, sir. Appreciate it. Good job. Thank you very much. Looking good. Look at him.
I need to talk to you about some buildings, some public.
Like, this dude is a clown. And I met so many people that did not show up to vote. Trust me, you're not seeing everything that he would do for. If you're talking to me, I've seen 4 years of what he won't do for anybody. I saw millions of people die because this man wouldn't do nothing to fight a pandemic. Why isn't it letting me scroll up? All right, y'all, I gotta go to the bathroom. I was gonna play some games, but I didn't realize this dude was gonna talk that long. So I gotta get up at, bro, sorry to say about Clinton family, Obama. Hey, bro, I can't stand them Clintons. Obama or Biden, please do research. But anyway, I appreciate y'all tuning in. I appreciate the conversation. Both the bad and the good, I do appreciate the conversation. So I will be back tomorrow.
House will be in order.
She need to chill out. I'm gonna be back tomorrow at 8:30 to play. So we're gonna play some games. We're gonna get away from this nonsense. Tell what Pelosi did for American people. I don't like Nancy Pelosi. Like I said, you don't know me. I don't like Nancy Pelosi. Nancy Pelosi needs to sit her behind down. You know how much money she didn't rape from the American people? She need to sit down. Democrats do put bills out to help out average Americans. Now, you ain't got to believe me. Again, I keep telling y'all, I'm not even going to say Google. Go to congress.gov. You don't have to believe me. I'm not even saying Google. Go to congress.gov. Type in whatever it is you think that you're looking for, that you would like to see in your life. And I promise you a Democrat has proposed a bill. I started a series on my other platform highlighting what Democrats have proposed to help out American people. It might not have made it to the floor for a vote, but the bill was actually written up and presented. Republicans, not so much. So Democrats, as much as I have beef with Democrats, they are the only ones putting stuff together to help out American people. You don't have to believe me. Congress.gov is your best friend to look and see what your local and for your federal Congress people are doing for you. You don't have to believe me. Just go and look and see for yourself. I'm sick of these damn liberal Gavin. I mean, Gavin Newsom is hard. He is terrible. I'm not going to disagree with you on that. He is terrible, but it ain't got nothing to do with being no Democrats or liberals. Democrats are spending money where they should not. Bro, come on now. Every Republican that's been in office has increased the deficit for how many years now? Trump increased the deficit himself. So tell me again about Democrats increasing it. See, that's the thing is y'all be talking out y'all side of y'all neck that y'all don't even know what the hell y'all be talking about. Democrats had their chance and they did nothing. They did. What are you talking about? Anyway, I will see y'all. I will see y'all tomorrow at 8:30. I appreciate y'all stopping by. Even y'all MAGA people, I appreciate y'all stopping by. Because one thing I'm always clap at you all about, y'all talk all that smoke, but none of y'all show up in these streets. None of y'all get out and do nothing in the community. I ain't seeing now one MAGA person even try to come to my door, and I do canvassing work to try to convince me to switch over. Nothing. They are poorly educated. So if you want to sit here and have some smoke for me, show me what you're doing in the community to try to improve your community. The only thing I got to say, because I know what I do and I know what the people around me, what we do. So if you want to come at me and tell me how great MAGA is, show me what you're doing in your community to help improve your community. Show me how you helping your people out. Show me the food drives that y'all doing. Show me what y'all doing to help improve homelessness. Show me what y'all doing to help people that's transitioning out of the criminal system. Show me what y'all doing. I don't know who y'all talking to. I'm gonna shut the hell up. Democrats funded the KKK. On that note, I will see y'all tomorrow at 8:30. Peace. Everybody else.